Gap is apologizing for a new ad that they put out, which features children in various poses. So the problem was that there's a white kid using a black kid as an armrest. Now, of course, it got a lot of criticism on Twitter, and as a result, Gap has apologized. Now, let me give you some more context into this story because it definitely matters. 2 years prior to this ad coming out, Gap featured a similar ad, okay? Let's take a look at that. And it features a black kid putting, their hand on or arm on a white kid, right? I'm just so tired of these stories. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, well,
I'm
okay.
exhausted.
Well, I have clear thoughts on this. Not guilty. Not guilty. That's not racist. So the reason that drives me crazy is because almost every day on this show, we find a story, 'cause it's not hard to find, of horrible racism in the country, where in Mississippi they find an interracial couple and they kick him out of an RV park and they say, well, our church and our community don't like the interracials, right? Like you've got such enormous racism, let alone all the unarmed black kids being shot in the country, right? Mm-hmm. So don't call this racism, because you're going to get people to go, and they think everything is racism. It's all BS. Mm-hmm. So I even read that the two kids might be sisters.
Yeah, they are sisters. Yeah,
right?
They are sisters. So
like the white kid and the black kid are sisters, right? So you don't know the story. So look, there's a lot of people, apparently, some people that protested. One of them in this particular article that they referred to in Fortune is Fatima Lajuan Muse, and she at the end she's like #epic fail.
Yeah. Girls can do anything unless she's black. Then all she can do is bear the weight of white girls. That was what the tweet said.
If it's a fail, it certainly isn't an epic one. Okay, yeah. It's a minor fail if it is one. Now, when I first saw the picture, I was like, given the racial dynamics in the country, maybe I would have done a different pose, because I get it, like it made me slightly uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But not enough to declare that they're racist.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. I think what kind of rubbed me the wrong way about this entire story is, first of all, the knee-jerk reaction and the inability to try to explore what the intentions were before you decide what the intentions were for the company, right? Mm-hmm. So when you decide already that they did it because they think less of black kids or black people in general, I think that's unfair. Like, hear them out and try to figure out what happened there, right? So, and then upon further investigation, once you find out that there was a previous ad that featured a black girl using a white girl as an armrest, well then, wouldn't you just say, all right, well, they've used similar imagery with the races reversed? Like, I don't know, maybe I'm being unfair, maybe I'm not seeing something here, but I just worry because when stories like this come out, they get a lot of attention. This story went viral, and you're right, Cenk, then it makes it even more difficult to point a finger to real, clear instances of racism and have people understand that we need to have a dialogue about this. And look, I'll make statements like that, and people on Twitter will write to me and be like, well, if people don't want to have that dialogue, fuck it then. But no, you don't solve the problem with avoiding dialogue and just pointing fingers and yelling at one another. I want to solve these issues, right? But we're not solving them because people go from one extreme to another, they yell, they get heated about it, and then the problem doesn't get solved.
And I don't know why you're white-splaining this.
I know. I'm a white-splainer. What can I say?
Well, so let me olive-splain this. Olive-splain sounds so dirty. And then I put the olive-splain all over. Okay, anyway.
Oh, God.
By the way, so we've talked about the clothing companies that do this kind of stuff to get attention before. Mm-hmm. And Gap is a clothing company. No, in this case, Gap was like, oh my God, we didn't think about that at all. We didn't intend that. They pulled it immediately and then put in a different picture. They did everything right here. So it was not one of those cheesy companies that puts out like a slavery t-shirt and then they're like, oh, golly gee.
Yeah.
Is there a controversy? Oh, talk about our brand. That's not what Gap was trying to do here. Yeah. Totally not guilty.